Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina. Welcome to my channel Lifting Pins and Needles, where I share all the sewing things that I do. Thank you for being here today. Now before I show you a little tiny make, well, it's not little, but it wasn't a big effort, if you know what I mean, compared to other makes I've been showing. Now before we get into what I've made and what I want to share today, I want to invite you to follow me on my Instagram account. The name is Lifting Pins and Needles, the same as it is on YouTube. I share a lot of things there. I'm becoming a lot more active in the stories. So if you want to hear from me almost daily on the stories and see like behind the scenes of what I'm doing, you're missing out. Yeah, you can just open an account on Instagram and find me by Lifting Pins and Needles, and I will link my page down below in the description box. In a few days I'll be doing a little giveaway over on my Instagram page, and if you don't follow me there you won't find out and you won't be able to participate if you're interested. So yeah, please go and follow me on Instagram, and over here on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you enjoy the content I'm putting out pretty frequently here, sort of like twice or thrice weekly is the aim. So yeah, what I want to show you today is one way of using a pattern that you already have and how to maximize what that pattern can offer for you. In this case, I was a pattern tester for the Kalispell dress from Itch to Stitch. You would have seen that a few days ago, and if you haven't, I'll put a little image here or something and a little card up there so you can go and see what I'm talking about. So this is not a pattern review. I am not going to go into the pattern as such because I've already discussed that in a previous video. But if you notice from that dress, there is a waistline, there is a fitted bodice, and then a waist seam, and then comes a really nice pleated skirt with a button band that's separate pattern pieces, you know, that crossover at the front with buttons. So it's the perfect skirt, really, it's the perfect skirt. So I always knew I was going to do that when I was sewing my dress. I thought this would be the most perfect pleated skirt. And the reason why I'm saying perfect is because this particular skirt doesn't give you any bulk at the waist, and it gives you really nice fullness at the bottom because the pleats are deep and they're inverted box pleats. So on the front and the back, you look really flat, like it hugs your waist and your hips nice and snug, and then it sort of gives you that flow, you know. So for me, it's the perfect skirt, and I loved it on the dress, and why not make it as a separate skirt as well. And I knew in my mind I had the perfect fabric for it that would make it really versatile, that would go with a bunch of my things, and so I decided to go for it. So let's hop into what I've done with the video. Very short, very easy, and then I'll be back to show you it on. I've just gone ahead and taken my two skirt pieces and just placed them on the fabric. They are pretty wide, they have nice box pleats. It doesn't take up that much fabric. I've then drawn on my fabric 4 strips of bias tape that I'm going to use for the waistband. So I'm going to show you a close-up. There's 4 of them because I'm going to unite them at the center back. There is going to be a button band, so they're going to stop in the middle, and they're going to have side seams. So I've made them 5.5 centimeters wide. So this is wider than a normal bias tape that you would make on a machine. So you do this by hand, just by finger pressing, and I just cut out 4 of them because that's what I'm going to need. After cutting them, I'm going to place them one on top of each other and match up the stripes perfectly. So you can see that they match really well there. And now I'm just trying to get the center back seam of this waistband to be really nice and perfect. So I'm going to put some pins there, and then when I open up, you're going to see the effect that this bias cut stripes have there. You know, that like triangle shape, and I really like that. Although no one ever sees my waistband, I can see it and I want it to look nice. Here's the front, and for the 2 pieces at the front, I also want them to match. I don't want them to be all like crooked and having different types of stripes, so I've done care to make those match as well. You can see the bits dangling there on the sides, and those I'm going to unite afterwards. I have decided to reinforce that bit there for the front part of the waistband, and where I have the seam at the center back with some interfacing, it'll just make it more stable there and not so flimsy. For the skirt bands, the button bands, I have cut them on the cross grain so that the stripes are going horizontal. I think that's going to look really nice. One of those bands is interfaced, the other one isn't. Here I have taken my waistband, the two fronts, and I've just sewn that, folded up and flipped it around so that it's nice and closed, and that is what I'm going to put on top of my skirt on the front. Here you can see I've already attached the center back seam of the waistband, and I've already finger pressed everything, and I've got it pinned up to the side seams there. Now I'm going to start doing my front one that I'm just going to start putting on there. This is all by hand. This is very slow, but it turns out really accurate. Lots of pins involved. Once I've got everything pinned up to the side seam, I can unite those, and you can see I've got pins to unite those, and then flip that seam open, and then finger press again, and then I have all my waistband hand pasted on. It takes a while, but it's going to turn out nice, and it's worth it. So if you want to make a skirt out of the skirt part of a dress, usually you will have to size down. Why? Because skirts on a dress are, added at the waistline, and they have a little bit more ease. You can move, and because it's attached to the dress. On a skirt, on the other hand, you need your waist to be really snug. Not tight, but you don't need that ease that a dress would need. So whilst I made a 14 on the dress, I sized down to a 10.5, 11 to make this skirt so that it would be really nice and snug around my hips and waist, and the way that I wanted it to be. Now I also want to show you a little bit of the inside, just a few details. Side seams I have bound together with bias tape, as you can see there. Very cute polka dot bias tape that I made out of cotton, and I hemmed it with bias tape as well. I did machine stitch this with grey thread. It's basically invisible, and I think with linen top stitching looks really nice. So that is the inside there. You can see the button band on the inside is nice and clean, and the waistband, everything, the pleats are tucked in there. It's a very neat, tidy skirt, and I'm super happy I did this. So I have to shift the camera angle and show you, because the skirt is down there, it's not up here on my top half. Here you can see the waistband there, and then you can see the button band is done with the stripes horizontal, and the skirt has the stripes going vertical. The inverted box pleats there give it a really nice shape, gives you that fullness, but it doesn't give you the bulk here. I think at the waist and hips it stays sort of flat. I just think it's a flattering skirt all the way around. Now I have a fitted t-shirt that I've just knotted there, so you can see the details up here. But actually, I would just wear it like this. This is how I would wear this in real life. But just to show off these details there, I did knot it up, I have these awesome metal buttons. I would have liked to put more and have them with a smaller spacing between them, but I only had 6. So from the top one to there is a larger space than what I'd like. So there is a tiny snap under there that I hand sewed on just to make sure that that stays flat, because this is a high tension area. Not that it's tight, but you know what I mean. So you gotta use the buttons you have, really.
Okay friends, this is hot. I am so hot. You don't know how hot I am. Anyway, it's sweat. Some sweat off my face. Okay.
I just wanted to give you an idea of how you can make your patterns just go that little bit further. It doesn't have to be a dress. If you like the skirt part of the dress a lot, then you can just make it on its own, like a standalone skirt, and that's what I've done in this case. I could do the same with other dress patterns that I have that I really like the skirt, like wrap skirts. If you have a wrap dress and you want to make a wrap skirt, you could do that. Or if you have a bodice with a skirt that's like a quarter circle skirt, super flattering, of course you can do the same and just adjust the waist to be snug and then carry on and do a waistband. So I hope this was useful. Let me know if you've done this before. I just always want to make the most use of my patterns. I think it's more cost effective that way as well. Although I did not pay for the Kalispell dress pattern because I was a tester, but still. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and go and follow me on Instagram so you don't miss what I'm doing there on the daily. Bye. Happy sewing.